This next video we're looking at domain and range of common functions that we will be using. They call it the toolbox or tool set or whatever, toolkit of functions. So the first, the constant function, the domain is -infinity to infinity, but the range is c whatever y value where it crosses the y-axis, whatever the y-intercept is. It never goes above or below that, so it's just that value for the range. Next one, the identity, y equals x is the function, and it's this line here. So you see horizontally it includes everything and vertically includes everything, so it's both -infinity to infinity for both our domain and range. And next we have the absolute value function. Did I just push it down? Oops. Yeah, we got it back. Okay. So y equals the absolute value of x. So you notice that for x it's going to be everything, but for y it's 0 to infinity because it has no negatives, because the absolute value is always positive. So 0 to infinity for range, -infinity to infinity for domain. Our quadratic function, again, all those x values that get to be used, but it's just going to go down to 0. This is if it's not shifted up or down, just like the last one. So -infinity to infinity and 0 to infinity for the range. This is the cubic function, y equals x cubed. So see, it's going to be all those x values, all the y values. So -infinity to infinity for both of those. Then our reciprocal function. So you see horizontally it looks like it's taken on everything except 0 for x, and it's taken on all the y values except 0 for y. So we have -infinity up to 0, then union 0 to infinity for both x, for both domain and range. Then the reciprocal squared function. So we see that it's horizontally we're losing the x equals 0, so we get -infinity to 0, union 0 to infinity. But for the range, it's 0 to infinity, not inclusive of 0 because it never actually gets there. And the square root function. So for x, it's just going to be 0 to infinity going out there. And for y, I mean, it doesn't grow as quickly as x grows, but it still is going up. So 0 to infinity for both of those. Then we have our cube root function. Looks like an S. So horizontally it's all those values, and vertically it will take on all those values. I think that does it for this part. We'll do one more video for the domain and range with formulas.